Welcome to Weekend Review. We went through most things that happened during the previous weekend, and for our first episode is Montreal, Canada. On Media Day, we've got Hamilton clarifying that he's going nowhere, shutting down the retirement rumors. The McLaren drivers are optimistic with the weekend. Esteban Ocon came forward to talk about the recent rumors about a potential fallout he had with team principal Ayao Komatsu, stating the stories were fabricated. His team principal Ayao Komatsu reinforced it, branding the headlines foundationless and absolute bullshit, criticizing the reporters. Finally, we have George Russell, rather confident despite the championship gap he has with his young teammate Kimi Antonelli. In free practice, 10 minutes into the session, and we have Liam Lawson's car breaking down, calling up a red flag, extending free practice by 4 minutes, and then we have Alex Albon hitting a groundhog, going into the wall during the process, calling up a second red flag. We had a short segment of Sam Collins' technical talk, one of which is about Ferrari's new wishbone that, according to Collins, is more of an aero change than a chassis change. It is likely that Ferrari will change them accordingly to their aero needs. George Russell spinning and got away lightly, while Ocon trying a new rear focus setup. The session ends with Antonelli having the fastest lap, followed by George Russell and Lewis Hamilton, Leclerc in 4th place and Verstappen at 5th, concluding the free practice session. After free practice, we went right into sprint qualifying. The track is dusty, pushing is tricky, and Fernando Alonso is in the wall during SQ1, a front lockup that had him understeering right into the wall, calling up another red flag. Sainz's Williams made it into SQ3 and stayed in 10th place. Hamilton, as if motivated by how Alonso was pushing his car, drove his heart out and took P5 in sprint quali. He was on pace for pole, but missed out because of a shady moment into the final hairpin. The Mercedes took the front row with Russell on pole, justifying his earlier confidence. Behind them are the McLarens, with Norris in front. A moment for Alain Prost, former champion from Williams, well known for his rivalry with Ayrton Senna, has sustained a head injury following a robbery at his house in Switzerland. The perpetrators has not been caught. Now back to Canada. The sprint itself featured a glimpse of 2016. Mercedes had a great start and Kimi Antonelli is keen on proving himself, making a move throughout turn 1 and 2 and pushed off by George Russell.
Yeah, if we need to race like this, then good to know.
Kimi, now it's the first time to talk about this. We talk about this internally and not on the radio, okay?
We are so fucking back. Qualifying was rather depressing. Gabriel Bortoleto had a great moment, knocking Esteban Ocon out Q1 with his last flying lap. Fernando Alonso couldn't make it into Q2, even with all of what he's got. The Q1 knockouts are Ocon, Albon, Alonso, Perez, Strulovic, and Bottas. Both Audis, Lawson, Gasly, and Sainz out in Q2 as the Argentinian driver Frankie Diclu closes the door into Q3. George Russell taking pole with his teammate Kimi Antonelli qualified second, another Mercedes 1-2. Post-qualifying is pretty juicy, Max getting frustrated because Red Bull wouldn't listen to him, and Juan Pablo Montoya getting criticized as usual. Actually, it's not that juicy when you think about it, it's just that. Very interesting total. It's like you're telling him his future teammate wouldn't leave his space either. Sunday has come, and along with it, a slightly damp track in the formation lap. Oh, there's another formation. 3 formation laps! And the race start commences. Lando Norris had a great start and took P1. George Russell down to P3, and then Piastri going straight into the pits for new mediums. Norris follows suit the lap after. And kids, this is why you don't gamble. We have some Merc on Merc action, Antonelli locking up, nearly rear-ending Russell, and Max Verstappen fights Lewis Hamilton for the podium. Bottas already getting lap on lap 11, more Merc on Merc actions after Russell messed up at the chicane. A yellow is out and Piastri had to pit for new front wings, thanks to a shady move. More Merc on Merc action, and then there's Lando Norris pitting because of a reliability issue. Then what is inevitable has come. On lap 23, Kimi Antonelli is our race leader. A lockup and Russell took it back. George Russell is out of the race on lap 31. His car just couldn't hold up as the young championship leader goes past his broken car. Following this chaos, Max Verstappen is up to 2nd place. Norris retires 40 laps into the race, and Hadjar had a shady moves against Leclerc in the straight, getting him a stop-and-go penalty. Hamilton and Max fights for P2, and congratulations to Kimi Antonelli's 4th win in a row. It is time for scoring. We will score based on the racing, story, the broadcast and other factors before giving it a final verdict. A solid battle between the Mercs for 30 laps. This, along with Verstappen versus Hamilton, easily brought the score to a comfortable 9 out of 10. This Grand Prix's main story is, in my opinion, Russell's Icarus-like story. He had the confidence into the race, soared high with the biggest fall from race. This and Mercedes nets the story an 8 out of 10 rating. For other factors, which includes broadcasting and my personal scores, the race was great. Amazing moments throughout, but the biggest problem is the broadcasting directions. I get that the Mercs are fighting, but they skip literally everything else just to keep the cameras on them. It took them nearly 20 laps to show Piastri and Albon's incident. They fully skip Hamilton messing up and going into the grass, Alonso making up to 10th and fighting Gasly for points. There are 22 drivers on the grid, and they only put 3 on the big screen. Everyone else is in the small screen as a side note. I would give it a 9 out of 10, but the horrendous direction took the points down to a 6 out of 10, bringing the overall score to 7.5 out of 10. We will now proceed with the awarding, which features the MVP of the race, the best performing drivers of the race, and the clowns of the race. The MVP goes to Kimi Antonelli for his amazing fight against George Russell. Honorable mentions are Verstappen and Hamilton. The best performing driver award goes to Franco Colapinto. Not only did he qualify into Q3, he brought the car to P6, scoring 8 points for Alpine. A job well done. And for closure, the Clown of the Race award goes to the McLaren MasterCard Formula 1 team. Not only did they fumble P3 and P4 with a horrendous strategy, gambling with Inters, Oscar Piastri has also torpedoed into Alex Albon, ending his race right then and there. The other drivers, Lando Norris, had a reliability issue. Getting lapped twice and not scoring a single point despite qualifying so high up easily nets them this award. These honorable mentions are Pierre Walsh along with the Red Bull engineers for ignoring Verstappen and the TV directors for the horrible broadcast. And that concludes my weekend review. Thank you for watching and I'll see you next video.